For the Claw Clippers, the LA Clippers, the best team in Los Angeles as of the recording of this video, 22 and 13, fourth in the Western Conference. I have them at an 8 out of 10. You have them at a 10 out of 10. So, given the high rating from the both of us, why do you have the Clippers so high? As again, they acquired James Harden, and it seemed like a questionable move just with the fit of the three other Hall of Famers they have on this unit. But they started off slow. I think 0 and 4, 0 and 5, but then they rattle off a lot of wins, and they found themselves from the bottom of the Western Conference, not entirely, more so like the 10, 11 seed, all the way to the top four seed, and they're sitting pretty right now. But your thoughts here on the Clippers? You're a big Russell Westbrook fan, and you're a big Paul George fan. So your thoughts here about the Ty Lue Harden Clippers?
Yeah, so I gave them a 10 because partly because I didn't give anybody a 10. And then when I took into the dynamic of why I gave the Celtics a 9, I like Ty Lue in a position
Best
to
coach in
coach
the
more
league.
stars. I like Ty Lue in a position to coach more stars than I do Joe Mazzulla, just because of the experience, and he's had to do it before. I mean, he's coached LeBron James in a championship, whether he coached or LeBron coached, he was still there. We've seen him have some tough playoff victories, series wins without his best players. And the players' willingness to make this work, I think, is what really stood out to me. I remember, Russ volunteered to come off the bench. They
Right,
volunteered to make changes and
right.
change their play style. They really wanted this to work. And sure enough, you see it took a while, but when this team plays at its best, you can see how scary this team plays. You have two elite perimeter or two-way players in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi, who's missed like a career low in games so far,
Yes.
or at least it feels like, has been playing really good. Paul George, he's been playing at an all-star level. Russell Westbrook, Norman Powell playing off the bench. They play really well. Zubac, he got James Harden. He's turned into like an all-star caliber center, believe it or
The
not. Like he just had like 20 and 20 on Anthony
next
Davis.
Marcin Gortat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this team playing at their best, they're very legit. And I feel like this is a team who, if they went all the way this year, I'm not too sure a lot of people will be surprised. And
Right.
plus I'd be selfish if I didn't say that I wanted Paul George and Russell Westbrook to finally get a ring.
No, absolutely. I think what really sets this team apart, like you touched on there at the beginning, is Tyronn Lue. We see a lot of times in history where stars get thrown together and hey, go make it work. Just like LeBron when they got Russell Westbrook. Hey, you got Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, three first ballot Hall of Famers, no doubt about it. But it couldn't work, right? Because they didn't have the right coach to lead the ship. They have that here in Los Angeles. And on paper, it's like you have two ball dominant point guards in Russell Westbrook and James Harden. And then you have two guys that respectively need the ball in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Again, not as primarily as the point guards, but they need the ball to be their best versions. And they're just finding a way to work with four players that really need the ball to be their best. And I think, it goes back to Tyronn Lue. All of it does. And I think right now he might be the coach of the year, as crazy as that might sound, given the star talent that he does have. But like you mentioned there, health has always been their biggest enemy. And if they could stay healthy, like you mentioned, I don't know if the team's going to stop them, including the Denver Nuggets, including the Boston Celtics. When it comes down to it, I'm gonna take Kawhi Leonard and Paul George in the series if they're fully healthy. And we've only seen that once ever in a playoff series, and they went to the Western Conference Finals or the second round of the playoffs, and they should have went to the Western Conference Finals, but they didn't blow a 3-1 lead. But any
Yeah.
last thoughts here about the Claw Clippers, as I'm going to call them from now on?
No, like I said, they've really turned it around, and they've really showed me that at their best they can be the best team in the league. So